So we are experiencing a lot of complications right now.
Can we just take it off the green screen?
No. Because it's a green screen, right? What's up, Yang Gang?
Happy birthday, Andrew Yang.
Wow, you wanted to get that first thing.
This is happy birthday, Andrew Yang.
Now we don't have anything else to talk about.
That's the end of the live stream. That's all we want to do. Say happy birthday to Andrew. Today, I told Seth and I earlier that it was Andrew Yang's birthday. He said, wow, I forgot that was a person. But then he said 46. That is really old.
That me and him are the same age, so I guess he's saying that I'm really
I said, Daddy's 45, right? And he said, well, he's good for his age.
Wow.
It was adorable.
I guess, unless you're on the receiving end of it.
Well, think about it. When you were 5, anybody over 20 was old. So, not surprising.
Yeah. I have 4 decades on it. So I guess that is quite a little bit. So happy birthday, Andrew Yang. Our happy birthday probably ain't a drop in the bucket, compared to all the people that I've seen wishing him happy birthday.
But he specifically said, and I quote from Twitter, I'm 46 today. If you all could save any birthday wishes or donations until later tonight, that would be phenomenal. But everybody's wishing him happy birthday. I didn't do it. I listened. I haven't wished him happy birthday yet. So I'm going to do it tonight like I was supposed to. For whatever reason. What do you think?
You were always the good girl in school.
You're just trying to be annoying.
I always following the rules and stuff. I didn't wish him a happy birthday either. I just put it in it. I would say, when will Andrew Yang's birthday get here?
Yeah, I saw.
Put last year's cake. Well, they didn't.
Are y'all on Twitter?
They don't. Nobody sees my tweets ever. It's crazy.
I think people probably muted you when you tweet out crazy stuff. They didn't want to unfollow you, so they just.
When is the last time I tweeted out anything crazy?
Yesterday.
But like I said before, I kind of take Dr. Jermaine Johnson's approach to that whole thing. And I said what I said. If I said it at the time, I meant it. That's why I try not to boost people.
So why do you think Andrew said to wait till later tonight? What are your theories as to why he would like everyone to wait?
It is kind of weird, right?
You know what I think?
What?
I think he's going to officially announce his run for mayor and have his site announce his website and everything tonight on his birthday. And that way he can start taking donations for mayor for his birthday.
That is a really, really, really good idea. I think you may be on something there. And knowing Andrew, that's just kind of the sort of thing that he would do. But that brings me to a point that I wanted to bring up. The Yang Gang has absolutely got to be careful. Mm-hmm. We can't tell New York City people how great we think Andrew Yang is, because this is going to affect them like on a local level. And we have to be really, really careful not to alienate the people in New York City.
And also ranked choice voting. So don't bash the other candidates, because if they all like Andrew and they all put him as their second choice, but they vote for someone else,
right?
It's, a second choice and third choice can still win the election.
On a national level, this is not, I saw a tweet earlier. This isn't Iowa. You know what I'm saying? This is like local politics. Man, this damn green screen.
What's the with the bubbles?
Get a little closer.
See, look, the bubbles are almost gone, and I still look bald. I'm having a flat hair day. So, anyways.
This is where the problem.
No, it's just. Actually, I did wear my hair up for 2 years straight. And every time you put your hair up, you're pulling out these little hairs right here and you do it so often that they don't grow back. So now my forehead is actually bigger from being a surfer.
Big forehead.
I know. What's up with that? It didn't used to be this big.
But and you know what's it's wasn't it? What's a shame is right. Look right there.
Where?
One of her to me one of her best features is her ear, and the only time I get to see them is when her hair is pulled up. so I've got to like consider the trade-off.
You want to see these ears?
Because I really like looking at your ears, but then I gotta ask myself,
I don't know why.
do I want to see
Like,
it's just like a patch your hair, right?
That was just being mean.
What's like bread and butter issues?
I don't even know.
I'm just playing.
I used to get made fun of for my ears, though. That was the thing.
Them people all done that. Shame on them people. They look. They don't want to hear us talk about it.
I know, we're getting so off track.
Let's talk about this stuff.
I've been called I could fly with my ears. I must be a really good listener, but must be why I never talk, because I'm always listening.
Look, you ain't got to hold the cup up to the wall, do you? You just hear right through it.
You know that show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? They should have one, I Married a Fifth Grader. That sounds bad. I mean, he acts like a fifth grader.
It's funny. You started it.
I kind of think that's a male thing, though. Let's get back on track. Andrew Yang, possibly announcing his mayoral run tonight. That's my theory.
You realize it's a live stream.
Yes, and that's why I'm trying to get you to stop like ridiculously laughing and crying.
You started talking about the nicknames.
By the way,
no. All right, go ahead. Look, we're dropping off viewers.
Yeah, they're like, God, F is really annoying. Okay. To all of you watching. He's never gonna stop laughing.
I would zoom in there.
This Saturday I'm gonna be recording a video for the new gaming channel. I don't know if y'all
PD in the water.
I will link it below when this video is finished. Make sure you subscribe if you like watching gaming videos. If your kids like watching gaming videos, it's probably gonna take me a while to edit, but I'm doing a huge like Among Us video that will go up either sometime next week or the week after, depending on how much editing it takes. So I'll be filming that this Saturday.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I want to talk about the stuff going on that happened in the Capitol because we haven't addressed it yet here on this channel.
Not on this channel, no.
I did talk about it for a minute on the Trickle Up on the low. Check that out. Make sure you check that out. It's not. I don't think it's finished.
Oh, we know it's not.
You know, the FBI has now acknowledged. Hold on. Earlier, I saw that the FBI knew the day prior that something was about to pop off.
And yet there was a very small amount of Capitol Police, and it took forever for the National Guard to get in there. It's just, y'all know there's something fishy.
But that's just it. Like, you can't just snap your fingers and be like, National Guard, get here. You know what I'm saying?
The BLM riots. Well, protests with a few outliers rioting, because I watched so much live stream footage of that.
Look,
it's nothing like you can't compare the two.
But they were on standby for that. Okay? They weren't on standby for this. There's a whole.
They should have been.
You gotta get your orders. You gotta figure out who's closest, who can respond the fastest.
People have actually known for weeks. Weeks, people knew.
It seems like it, doesn't it? Because all over Twitter, I mean, it was everywhere. we're just casually, scrolling through whatever, and it's there. It's right there in your face. It's like, how did they not?
They had enough time to get prepared. If they were listening to Trump speak during the rally that morning, they immediately, if they didn't already know, they immediately should have acted. Because I was watching the speech and the whole time I was going, oh no, this is bad. This is going to be bad. This is going to be bad.
We were watching the speech and you could tell every word that came out of his mouth was. We
gotta fight. We gotta fight. He kept saying.
And look, it's so funny because, and I'm gonna get some hate for this from Dennis, Trump over Yang, right?
Which he is now suspended from Twitter.
Is he? What did he get suspended for?
Probably saying something crazy. I don't know.
Dennis don't never say nothing too crazy.
He doesn't.
But anyway, this is something that I really disagreed with him on. He was like, only dogs hear dog whistles, right?
I saw that tweet actually.
And what he was in, like he's constantly defending like what Trump is saying, like listen. I was a Trump supporter, and I'm sitting there watching that shit, and I'm like, man, bro, he is calling for it. He's calling for it.
Yeah.
You can't defend that. We're at a point in this country where it's like boiling over. Like people are fed up for whatever reason. These right wingers are fed up. Left wingers are fed up. Right wingers, and all of us in the middle are like, we wish y'all would calm the fuck down.
We just want to live our lives.
We got enough to deal with.
We got the pandemic.
A revolution going on.
I mean, I know I've always known there will be a revolution, but this is not the revolution, and this is not how to go about it. This is not it.
No,
it's not even close.
If and this is the revolution, this is the dumbest revolution I've ever seen.
The people,
my gracious.
The people that are, buying into all of this really do believe that this is the revolution, that they are serving their country, that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And how do you get through to people that really, truly believe this is the right thing to do? Like, you can't just sit there and put it all over Twitter. You put your
ass in handcuffs and you take them to jail. That brings reality right home to you.
No, I don't think it does. Think about this. The people that have been arrested so far, they get to prison. You know what they're thinking? They're like, I knew something like this would happen. I'm
right, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Mm-hmm. It fulfills itself. Because if you fight hard enough against the system, eventually the system's going to get you, and you're going to be mad at the system.
Yep.
I learned my lesson from that shit a long time ago.
Yes, to answer the gaming question, yes, gaming channel. So we have only one video up so far. We just started. It's it's an Among Us video. It's not my best work, but it's still great.
It's still pretty entertaining.
And we're gonna be doing lots of different games. It's just it takes so long to edit those more than it does to.
It would be very kid friendly. Very kid friendly.
And unless we play
unlike this channel where it's not so kid friendly sometimes.
I wanted to bring it back to Andrew Yang for a minute. I don't know if all of y'all are on Twitter, but he was trending the other day. And after what he said, my first reaction was,
come on.
It's like he just has problems with wording things the wrong way, and I'm like, I just really can't believe he said that. Well, then when you actually read the article and you go into what he was talking about what it was like to work for CNN in New York City. And
for those who aren't familiar with what you're talking about.
Do you want me to get the entire quote? It'll take me a second to pull it up. Hold on. 1 second. You go ahead and talk. Or you're just waiting.
Look, now that you put me on the spot, I ain't got nothing to say. You should never do that. Never put me on the spot.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm just trying to fill the time with my dudes.
Anyway, Has anybody out there gotten their stimulus yet? I hope you have. Times are really, really hard right now. And so I hope that you've been able to get your stimulus. My sister she got the first stimulus, right? But for some reason, the second stimulus, they have to go by her next taxes. They have to wait till she files her next taxes. Like, what kind of sense does that make? And you notice it's all been hush mouth, right? It's all been hush mouth in Washington about the $2,000, except for an occasional tweet by Joe Biden saying, "Hey, we need $2,000," right? Because it's all about the impeachment. It's all about Trump again. We got to impeach Trump. We got to get him out of here these last few days. Like, is there seriously not enough power in Washington to be like, Trump, sit down and shut the hell up, dude? Like, your time's done.
Yeah.
So, like, why are they pushing so hard to do this? Like,
I don't exactly
when they
know,
could be focused on the people.
because I don't know if it's going to do anything, but they need to make it where he cannot run again, where he can't pardon himself. They need to do something. But I thought that would have him use the 25th Amendment. Yeah. So Andrew Yang, back to Yang real quick. The quote was, "We live in a 2-bedroom apartment in Manhattan. Can you imagine trying to have 2 kids on virtual school in a 2-bedroom apartment and then trying to work yourself?" It sounded very out of touch, but if you read it, he was talking about, specifically at that time, was talking about his job with CNN and how it's difficult to be on a nationally televised news program with kids screaming in the background. That's not very professional. And if he has the means to do something better for his family and his children, I mean, we know that one of his sons is autistic, and imagine how hard that is to do at-home learning, even just for any kids. And then
with the production like CNN.
Yeah, so it makes sense if you have. It's not that he's out of touch. I don't think.
Hold on, because what you're telling me then is because I saw it from the media people, right?
The media people.
The media people, the mainstream media people.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is the mainstream media people took what Andrew Yang said out of context.
What? Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
And he's going to be getting a lot more attacks, and it's always going to be something dumb because he is the front runner. Even though he hasn't officially announced, he is the front runner for NYC mayor.
Work, gang.
So he's going to get a lot of attacks, and we have to try to remember that we can't, especially since we don't live in NYC. If you do, perfect, but we don't, and like always jumping in. We can still.
Yeah, you gotta kind of take the gentle approach. If you're even going to talk to people in New York about Andrew Yang and who they should vote for, you got to be very, very delicate. Because one thing you know about New Yorkers, they don't take no bullshit. Those are some hard people in New York City. They ain't no joke. So
I could imagine living in a big city, though.
Man, you got to be, because if you do live in New York City, it comes with an attitude. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that attitude to survive in New York City because it's heavily populated. And there's golly, can you imagine I can't imagine living around that many people.
We're country people, so
I like to breathe the fresh air. I can't. It makes my skin crawl. It gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about all them people.
Well, we visited New York City, and it was great. It's just there's a lot of people.
Yeah, the picture that we took behind us was from New York City when we were there for the UBI march, and it freaked me out being there and just the sheer number of people. Now, it's an experience, and if you've never been to New York City, it was awesome. We visited Times Square and got to see the Statue of Liberty. It's pretty amazing.
It's a different world than what we're used to, for sure.
Why did that show just pop into my head? It's a different world.
What show is that?
It's a different world. You never watched that show? Came on way back in the day. No.
Anyway. Thank you, Howard Taylor.
Howard Taylor, thank you so much for that super sticker.
Super sticker.
Yeah. So anyway, back to New York City. Just be careful when you're talking to people in New York City about Andrew Yang. Just be delicate. You know, if they ask, obviously. But here's the thing about Andrew Yang is now he has so much coverage. Like,
and most of it's going to be negative.
Why they gotta bring up that whole circumcision thing? And they're bringing it up again. It's like if that's all you got to attack Andrew on, then what are you doing?
In the article, they said he did not. His crest team or something didn't get back to us whether he was circumcised or not. Something you ask, yeah, is that something you ask someone? You don't just ask someone if they're
circumcised.
That seems very private to be asking someone. Andrew's stance on that is that it should be up to the parents. Obviously, it should be up to the parents.
I just don't know what I think about that.
I know.
Wow. On second thought, I am not running for office because the media people are just hateful. God, it's so hateful. Like, what does it matter?
They just need a story. So.
Like, that's all you got, though?
They don't have anything. I mean, they attack him on the fact that he likes pizza from Iowa. I mean, they have nothing better because we know what kind of person Andrew Yang is, and he's an upstanding citizen that hasn't done anything.
I bet you they never went and asked Bernie Sanders if he was circumcised.
Oh my God.
That's so funny.
How are you talking about this? Okay.
You like my Bernie Sanders?
I did, but it sounded more like a angry New Yorker.
Well, we are on the theme of New York, so. Oh, I want to talk about that little attack we got the other day.
We got an attack?
We got an attack by the I'm trying to remember who it was now. It's like a big group.
Oh, I didn't see it as an attack, really. It was just basically someone rolled their eyes at us, okay? That's what it amounted to.
They took a quote that we had in the New York Times and they just basically rolled their eyes at it. Because we were talking about what drew us to Andrew Yang, right? Was humanity first.
It was an entire article about how people have flipped from conservative side to vote for Andrew Yang.
Right.
And they're using that as
Here's the thing that got me, right? In the comment section, the comment section was blown up by people talking about how Joe Rogan, well, what did you expect? He was on Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan is a white supremacist. No, he's not. You have never listened to Joe Rogan one time. You can't listen to him and ever think that he's a racist.
Yeah, I've never really liked him as a person, but I did watch the Joe Rogan podcast with Andrew Yang because it was intriguing.
But I do watch Joe Rogan a lot, and so he's always on. And anytime that you've ever heard him, has he ever been anything about anything other than loving each other? He seriously preaches loving each other.
I just don't like him as a person. It's
why? Joe Rogan is like one of the dopest individuals.
I feel like he tries to normalize like this whole toxic masculinity thing. And I'm not saying he's toxic. He's trying to normalize men being a certain way when he talks. I've heard enough in the background.
He's a comedian, and that's just like his shtick. You know what I'm saying? He I don't see anything toxic about Joe Rogan. He's always preaching about love. He's always preaching about how we need to come together as a country. He's always trying to promote great ideas like Andrew Yang. You know, he's.
But there's one thing that bothered me specifically. But I mean, there's a few things, but one that comes to mind, talking about a teacher and a student that had got together, right? But the student was a male.
I know but he admits, but that's just it though. He admits that there's a double standard.
He does, but the way he talked about it was like he didn't have an issue with it either. Don't even go into it. So it's wrong both ways, and it's a sexist thing.
But they were both of age consenting adults.
No.
Yes.
No, that's not the one he was talking about. The kid was like 15.
Oh. Yeah. Shame on him.
Shame on her.
Shame on her.
Yes. And him for, yeah. Okay, so the quote that they put up, they put a screenshot up of the part of the article where it said Elasa and Russell, age 34 and 44 respectively, discovered Yang through Joe Rogan's podcast and were immediately drawn to Yang's humanity first and not left, not right forward messaging. And then put right next to it Jim Carrey rolling his eyes. Yeah. Like they were just like, you know.
But it was the comments that was the whole part about that got me. You know what I'm saying? It was all the attacks against Joe Rogan about how he's bigoted and stuff. And he's not. He's just not. He's all about expanding consciousness and human improvement. So,
well, my comment to this man's post got the same amount of likes as the post. So that's saying something, right? My comment was just how I liked how my name was first in the article. That was cool because most people put the man's name first in an article. And then talking about how it was a great podcast, even though I don't watch Joe Rogan. And it gave Yang the chance to explain his policies in detail. And that was all I said. So. And someone said they wanted to sit down and ask me, what did we learn about letting businessmen with no political experience be president? And that.
I mean, you can't take Donald Trump as any indication.
No. And you can't compare Yang to Trump at all, even though we came from the Trump side.
I'm pretty sure that
we don't like Trump as a person.
Most here's a lack of political experience is all they can attack you. Mm-hmm. But that's, to me, that's one of the most redeeming qualities about Andrew Yang. Now, I have seen him stomp a little bit hard for the Democrats. You know, I have seen him spew the same Democrat lines that, you know, on some things. But he is a Democrat, so I forgive him.
Party Hat needs a quick recap. Andrew Yang, my theory, he may be announcing his mayoral run tonight. Happy birthday,
That's Andrew. The cryptic tweet why he said to hold all birthday wishes and or donations until tonight. So
that's my guess.
And
could be.
I'm a smart man. I always listen to Mom. So I think
not always, but you should.
Well. Anyway.
Then we're talking about the insurrection and Trump getting impeached and
yes,
you know, and
how I think it's a waste of time,
but something needs to be done.
Something has to take the focus off of the $2,000 check, right? That America was promised that if we win these seats in Georgia.
I do want to talk about what happened yesterday with that. What's her name? Bobbitt.
Lorena Bobbitt?
No.
Back in the news?
No. The congresswoman who is QAnon, a Q lady, with a super long rap sheet that got elected into Congress recently.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And she was the one who was tweeting out Nancy Pelosi's location during the insurrection. And I can't pull her name out of my mind right now. But they had a standoff at the doors because they've now put up a metal detector and they have armed guards everywhere. And she went through the metal detector and set off the detector. And she refused to have her bag searched because they want to make sure she's not bringing anything in there. They don't want anyone to bring anything in there because of what happened, obviously. And so there was a standoff for the longest time. They finally just let her go in without searching her. And then other Republican Congress people all just walked around and said, nah, you're not searching me either.
Man, every time I've been to the courthouse, I haven't wanted them to search me, and they sure enough search me.
And this is the Capitol we're talking about. Like, so.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so they ended up, and I'm very disappointed in them for just letting her go in, and then a bunch of other Congress people just going in because they're like, well, if she don't have to follow the rules, neither do I. And it was probably because she was armed. I'm going to assume that's why. because you're not supposed to bring them in, which I can see both sides, because if there is people coming to get you and put you in the zip ties and do whatever with you, you want to have something on you to protect yourself.
Yeah.
But if the policy is don't bring them in here, because what if she's the psycho that starts it all?
Shit, I'm taking my piece with me.
But she could be there to drag Pelosi out and bring her to the insurrectionists.
Yeah, but you gotta think, right? Okay, now that they've cleared the mob out of the Capitol, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like there's a mob standing outside the store. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Waiting to break in at any
but it's coming moment. Because as we know, next week up until the 20th, there's going to be. It's all over everywhere. Even the media knows about it this time, but it's everywhere that it's going to be. And the FBI.
They have beefed up security. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid.
Don't. If you're thinking about going, don't go. But I don't think any of y'all that watch us would do that. But don't go. Don't even go to film it, because we thought of, because they said it's going to be in all 50 states, and I'm like, Vermont, really? People are going to show up in Montpelier and do what? How many people?
The people here, they're not
just would want to like go and peek and maybe film some stuff, but I'm not even gonna go near it.
There ain't gonna be nobody that shows up.
I don't think so either.
This is Bernie Sanders country, not Donald Trump country.
There are some Trump supporters.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. There's no way that in Vermont that they mass in enough numbers. Like, that ain't happening. But if you live in one of those other places, don't go film it, because
you're gonna get caught up in it and you could get hurt.
You know, Anthony Fisher, who interviewed us, he tweeted out earlier. He was like, "Does anybody have any body armor that I can borrow for this coming week?" And he was like, "I'm not even joking." And when I saw that tweet, I'm like, man, it's real.
Especially with the way they're attacking the media, because they're like, fake news, let's beat them up, steal their equipment, and trash it. I mean, is that how you treat other human beings, no matter who they are? No, it's not.
Right? You take my fucking camera, I'm gonna dot your damn eye. I don't care. I mean, I'm swinging.
So it's gonna get crazy, but they have beefed up security. They said something about 20,000 troops being at the Capitol, or officers. I'm not sure which. I don't remember what I read.
Wait,
it's a lot of people.
Who's troops are going to be at the Capitol?
The Russians.
Are they the QAnon troops going to
be
at the Capitol?
I don't know how many will show up to this, because after what happened last time, it obviously didn't go the way they had planned it.
Right.
And they did plan it. There's new video footage that came out today of them standing in one of the rooms in the Capitol. And they're all talking to each other about the layout and the plan. And there's a woman right outside who was yelling into the room with the megaphone. She was telling them, if you go this way and you go down here, there's a window to break through, and this will lead you into this room. And like, they've all had it all planned out. And they sounded like they knew what they were doing. But they had planned it for a while.
But that just shows you, and like, it could have been so much worse, right?
It shouldn't have been as bad as it was.
Well, yeah, it could have been worse. I feel like if it had actual military tacticians who planned it,
there was some,
but not in enough number, then, because it was like the most ill-formed revolution or whatever that I've ever seen. Because what could have potentially been a very, very brutal situation, right? It could have been very, very ugly, like designated survivor type shit.
I remember that.
That just shows like the foreplay that actually went into it, you know, and like the fact that you broadcasted everywhere.
Videotaped everything. Because they thought, and then someone brought up a good point. They said they thought they were doing the right thing and the good thing, and that after it was all over, they'd be the heroes and they'd be showered with attention and gold or whatever. They really thought that this was going to be saving America. So they were filming everything like, yeah, I'm saving America. Watch me save America.
Yeah, but your grand finale revolution that you had planned ended up being like a party popper.
Reminded me of a woman who has now been turned into a meme, and she's all like, pepper sprayed. And she's like, this is the revolution, man. I don't know. She was crying like, this is the revolution, but I got pepper sprayed, so I had to quit and leave.
And that just brings up the point is if it was a real revolution and all you got was pepper spray, your ass better be thankful because revolution is never pretty. It's always very brutal and very ugly. And it's not something that you want your kids to experience. I don't want my kids to experience it. I don't, I guess I understand because the founders of this country were like, nah, screw that.
But they were right. That's the thing.
We're not right.
Yeah.
Right. They were right. We already have a republic established. We need to fix our republic. Mm-hmm. That's what needs to happen. We don't need a revolution. We need to fix the republic that we have.
And trying to start a revolution over Trump losing is like really dumb. Like I figured, I mean, we came from that side. We weren't like crazy like those people, but I just figured that some of them would be smarter than that. Like they would, because it's not a bunch of dumb rednecks over there.
But that's just it, right? We are about the revolution if it has to happen. Mm-hmm. Like deep down, we are all about the revolution. If it's got to happen, it's got to happen. But it doesn't have to happen.
It doesn't have to. It can be a peaceful revolution, basically, of the people.
What a concept! A peaceful revolution. A revolution of consciousness.
We start that with UBI.
It's a beautiful thought. If we could just have that. I mean, I know it sounds like a utopian idea, but there are people pushing every day for that utopian idea, where we're all one people, where it doesn't matter, and we can all just live in peace. Most of us, unless you're a fucking warmonger, want peace, right?
Repeat, like.
And it's crazy how bad here in America we want peace, right? And yet we occupy militarily every country out there.
It was like a joke tweet that someone tweeted out, and they said, "What? Is there really a good enough reason to go to war? Like, I can't even imagine a good reason to have these big wars with all these deaths, And you think about it, it's like, no, there's none of the reasons we've ever been in war really been like, that's a good reason to like have some people die. I don't know, whatever. Right? I was just trying to figure out
because it's a shame.
Repeat what he said, like repeat Buttigieg.
I don't know.
I don't know which part.
Anyway, wanted to shout out before we get out of here. Wanted to shout out to our Patreons and our donors. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat sticker that came in. Very awesome. We exist because of y'all. And the money that you put into this channel, we try to give you back. We love you, Yang Gang. See you on the next one. Like how we just like end it.
Out of nowhere.
All abruptly.
Still going.
I thought it was a good time.
Yeah, good time. Bye, guys.